down the basement, lock the cellar door, and baby, talk bloody to me.
Hi, welcome to another terrifying episode of Talk Bloody to Me. I am here with the horrific vampire Brezzy. If you're just listening, you're missing Breezy's got a mouthful of needle fangs. It's pretty creepy. Yeah. Say hello. I'm Matt, by the way. Say hello, Breezy.
I am Brezzy. Now I finally took the teeth out so I can actually talk because I can't really talk in these things. So
Right, but they look amazing.
yeah.
And why are you wearing fangs, Breezy?
So we are talking Fright Night 1985, and I'm actually wearing a vampire outfit too, is with the
Yeah,
fangs.
a cool red and
Oh,
black cloak. It's awesome.
yeah.
And I've added to our Hall of Fame with the Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre to join Jaws. The frames don't match. It's okay. They'll probably be crooked and weird, and eventually it'll just be a maze, but mess. But that goes with the horror theme, right? It can't be all
Yeah,
neat
that's
and orderly if it's horror,
right. It doesn't matter what the size is.
right? That's what they say. That's what they keep telling me. No, just kidding.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
so tonight, as Breezy said, we're talking about Fright Night, vampire movie. This movie was one of my favorites. I had this movie poster and the American Werewolf in London movie poster that I scored in the basement back when I worked there, and they were destroyed in a night of drunken craziness. But at one point, for many years, Fright Night movie poster and American Werewolf in London movie posters hung in my apartment with pride. And this
Uh,
movie's very, very fond to me. But Breezy, I believe this was the first time you've ever seen it.
yeah, unfortunately so, yep.
And what do you think of this movie?
I actually really, really enjoyed it, actually. It's
Mm,
it's a fun one. It's a little cheesy, but it's like actually really, really fun. I really, really enjoyed it.
yep. And for those of you that don't know, the premise of the movie is basically it's like a new next door neighbor moves in and he's a vampire, and it's all the stereotypical vampire stuff like garlic. Well, the high school kid next door kind of catches on and is fighting him, kind of like Lost Boys, but there's only one vampire, and it's a little bit more sort of like traditional Dracula-y with the holy water and the garlic, and he has to be invited into the house and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's similar. It's a little bit similar to Lost Boys in a way.
hmm the vampire is played by Chris Sarandon, who I always thought was Susan Sarandon's brother, but actually is her ex-husband, which I just learned by looking it up this week.
Nice.
And he's also in The Princess Bride. He's the king or prince or whatever. That
Oh, no shit, really?
Yeah, Prince Humperdinck. As
Oh, wow.
Yep. You also have William Ragsdale as Charlie, who I got to meet at Crypticon a couple years ago. He was very nice.
I
He,
think he was in Renfield, I think.
he might have been. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Roddy McDowell as Peter Vincent, who is a vampire hunter on TV, who they go to for help, and it turns out he's just an actor and not a real life vampire hunter, but the stuff
Mm,
he's learned from movies ends up coming in handy.
yep.
And you have Amanda Bierce as Amy, who was actually Marcy Darcy from Married with Children. If you've ever watched Al Bundy,
What?
yeah, their neighbor Marcy. It was Steve and Marcy, and then later it was Jefferson and Marcy. So
What?
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
cast of all stars on this
Wow.
movie. And then last but not least, we have Stephen Jeffries as Evil Ed, who Evil Ed is somehow simultaneously both my favorite character and the most obnoxious,
Mm,
annoying character at the same time.
yeah. When I first seen this one, I really love Ed. I
Yeah.
don't really, well, he's kind of a goofball anyways, because I love friends that are being goofballs. So I was like, I can actually get along with him really, really well. But when he turns into like the vampire, he gets really like I like him as a vampire more.
Yeah, he's awesome. I dig.
Yeah.
He seems like the kind of guy I'd hang out with. He kind of reminds me of me in a way, but he's
It's like at the end and he's like, "You're so cool, Brewster." I'm like,
yeah.
dude, I
And,
love that.
And he has his maniacal kind of laugh cry, almost like ah!
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he
he's my favorite actor, and same goes with William and yeah, as Charlie. Charlie did
yep.
a really good job on that one. I really like those two for sure.
Definitely. Um, and so and what do you think of the vampire? What do you think of Chris Sarandon?
He's pretty graphic. I mean, he's like really straight to the point. I mean,
Yeah.
he's out there, which I like.
Right. He does a good job.
It,
He's kind of he's got that sort of intensity like a Dracula, and then they make his
yeah.
finger when he like vamps out, his fingers are all like extra long and pointy. And
hmm
yeah,
Yeah, it gave me that Dracula feeling too. Yes.
yeah. So what's one of your favorite scenes from this movie?
I I want to say where Ed turns into a vampire the first the first time that turns into a vampire where he's at with that priest and he holds
Mm-hmm.
up that cross and he has that cross around the forehead and he's
Yeah.
like "Ah." I'm
Yeah.
like whoa and I'm like the fangs everybody's fangs looks like my type of fangs that's
Yep.
why I put those on. I'm
Yep.
like screw my other vampire teeth because my other vampire teeth goes on the side of the side
Yeah.
at the top. I'm like, screw that, fucking use that teeth.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought when I saw the picture of them. I was like, "Oh, those are perfect for Fright Night because they have
Yeah.
crazy fangs going every which direction."
Mm,
At one point his girlfriend um gets turned into a vampire and she has her mouth is like extra long, like crazy with like teeth and the whole thing. It's like a
yeah.
big like almost like pumpkin looking smile. Like it's crazy.
It's kind of what it's like really it's yeah, it's crazy, but it's actually really, really cool how they done like all that FX and teeth back in the day
Hmm.
too. It's like
Yeah.
that's really good work.
Yeah. There's we talked about in our American Werewolf in London and slash Paris episode about how the werewolf transformation in American Werewolf in London is so cool and so well done, and it's like in the early 80s, and then the 90s one is all just CGI and looks like crap. And
Yep.
there's a part in here that's like almost the same scene except it's in reverse where Ed is in wolf form and then he gets staked and then he slowly transforms back into a human, and it's really slow and it's like practical effects and it's really cool. It's a really
Mm,
neat sequence.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The other one is my other favorite scene is when they're that his Charlie's girlfriend is in that club with the actual like vampire and
Hmm.
she's like going down to look like he was like she was gonna about to
Yeah.
suck his dick, but that like a tease. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. It's like a hot scene.
It is. And he's
It's
got
like
like
they really like obviously probably she's a virgin, so that's because she was scared of doing it with Charlie.
yep. Yeah, they
And
established
now,
that early on in the like that's one of the very first things they set up in the movie. And so yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and then all of a sudden they go to like that one scene in the movie. I think they're in the living room with the fireplace and they're about to do it, and he just takes a big, huge chunk
Yeah.
right there. I'm like, that is the most. I love that scene out of the whole movie
Yeah.
because like you got that big, huge bite.
Yeah.
Also, it's a romantic, and with the blood coming down her back, I was like, dude, fucking love it.
Yeah.
That just got me right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly. It's really well done.
yeah.
Yeah, he has, like we said, he has that intensity, and then she does a really good job of like it's not like the vampire mind control almost, or like he like just has her dumbfounded with his like power, just stare, and then
Yep.
they're like dancing and they're like doing these dance moves, and then the wall of the club is mirrors, and then she sees in the reflection she there's no reflection of him, she's just by herself. That's
Yep.
really cool too.
What's your favorite scene?
I think I really like when Ed turns back into human form from the werewolf when he gets staked. And what you
Mhm.
said also when he gets the cross on his head and it burns into his head. And that's kind of cool how they set that up that the vampire hunter didn't have faith, but it worked on Evil Ed because he was just a brand new vampire. But then when he tried it on Chris Sarandon, he's like, you gotta have faith. And then it wasn't working. But then there's the little crack of light, and then his faith starts to grow, and you can see how it's like, oh, it starts to work. I think that might actually be my favorite scene. Just how he,
There was also a like a pencil scene with a hand
oh
too.
yeah, that was really cool.
Yep.
And he did a really cheesy like spin, like a 360 spin, like and it even made like a weird sound effect, but it worked somehow. Like it was
Yeah.
80s cheesy vampire like perfection.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a definitely a good one for sure. I also have not seen the second one too. So you said that the second one's better than the first one or similar to that?
It's at least as good. I saw both of these. These were horror movies I saw early on, like some of the first horror movies I saw, and I really liked Fright Night because I was big into the Nintendo game Castlevania, where you hunt Dracula, and I was all about holy water and stakes and vampires and like all that jazz. So then I really liked Fright Night, and I really liked Fright Night 2 also. That one's got a like the head vampire is a chick, and she's like a hot female vampire, so that's cool. So
Of course you would.
right. So Fright Night 2 I also like, but it's been probably at least 20 or 30 years since I've seen it. Maybe not quite that
Oh
long.
my gosh.
But so we'll have to do Fright Night 2 and give it a watch.
Yeah.
And the only thing I remember is there's a guy that eats there's like a Renfield guy that eats bugs. Like, and there's a big like there's a bug floating around a lamp, and he's like, bleh. He's got like a great big
Oh, you
tongue.
don't like that scene?
No, I think it's cool.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you don't get all
Yeah.
sick and and like wanted to throw up now.
Yes, I haven't had that for a while, but Terrifier 3 is coming soon, and that should make me throw up if the rumors are true. If all the hype is to believed, I'll be passed out in a pool of my own vomit and pee in the movie theater when I see it.
Speaking of sidetrack, speaking of Terrifier 3, I'm actually going to see that in theaters this Thursday.
Yeah,
So
I'm jelly. I was invited, but unfortunately I can't make it. But
yeah, you gotta work.
yeah, but you'll all have to keep me posted. So
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm so excited for that.
like really the real story is it's just I was embarrassed that I was gonna pass out and scream like a girl, so I made up that I had to work. No, just kidding. I actually
No, yeah, you actually do. But I can still
yeah.
see you like throwing up
I'll
and
be like
stuff.
and then I'll be like
That's why you don't eat before you watch a like really sick and twisted movie.
yeah.
I can handle it. I can sit there and eat and like, God, how can you not throw up? I don't know.
I saw so remember in just because we brought up Terrifier and we're talking about bodily functions and things. And I saw a thing on Instagram or maybe it was Facebook, who cares? But it was from Terrifier 1 where he's got his poop smeared all over the
Yeah,
bathroom, and it said like, what the heck is wrong with Art the Clown's bowels? Like it seems like he's got a problem, and then the person's like, well, he eats a lot of funny food.
yeah, he does. Definitely does.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
back on Friday night.
yep,
This
sorry, a little
so
trap
yeah, a little
there.
sidetrack, but this is also a fan request, so that's why we end up doing Friday night.
Hmm.
And then how many buckets of blood would you give this?
Oh my gosh. Ooh. I don't want to give it a full 10 because I don't think it's quite at that level, but I can't think of a single thing to ding it on, so I'm going to give it a 10. 10 out of 10 buckets of blood for Fright Night.
I,
One of my all-time favorites.
I will give it a 9.
Nice.
Yep, I'll for sure give it a 9. Even though I'm not really into like the whole vampires, that is actually a really good one. Actually, really good one, but what actually didn't want me to actually watch the original is because I actually watched the remake before the remake, the original.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like, no, because the remake is fucking shitty. So do I really want to watch this one? I'm like, actually, no, never watch that remake. Watch that one for
I
sure.
com I completely even forgot they made a remake because when that came out, I was like, why? Why would you do that?
Yep.
And we've talked about some remake, like Friday the 13th. The remake is actually kind of cool, and sometimes remakes work, but I haven't seen it. I refuse to see it because
Yep.
everyone I've ever talked to has said it's just absolute garbage and shit. And I have not met one person that was like, "Oh, actually, it was pretty cool." So if you're that
Yep.
person, comment and let us know. But
Yeah, we kind of like understand why you like it so much, that remake. It's like
I think Colin Farrell's in it, isn't he?
I
Uh,
think so. Yeah, I
yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Is it more
I just
serious?
I think so. I watched that in the movie theaters, so it's like
Right.
been that long, so I don't really remember. So that's probably why I didn't watch the original Fright Nights, because the stupid remake.
That's one thing about this 1985 Fright Night is that it walks just such a fine line between being goofy and silly, but also serious at the same time.
Yep,
And I think it does it really well.
of course. Yeah.
All right. So, spooky season is almost upon us. Please like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to comment. Feel free to send suggestions. Feel free to say whether or not you like Breezy's teeth. She has been doing costumes for the month of October, and I think you intend to continue doing that. Isn't that correct?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yes. So stay tuned for whatever next week will
I'm
hold.
gonna suck your blood.
All right. Thanks
One
for listening.
episode. I'm gonna eat you.
Those are really cool. I can't think of anything to say. It's bringing back memories of Jaws and Teeth and maybe a little Renfield.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
All right. Until
Now,
next time.
now people can actually see the extra teeth if you see on YouTube. But yeah.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.